I don't want to start an argument, but I just want people to see that the setting of this story that's being added to the channel's recommended series is not different from any common Omegaverses that you'll see out there, where the alpha uses his pheromones to make the uke submit to his desires. But yeah, you're right, except that in this particular series, it's the Omega that uses his pheromones. So it's reverse of the common Omegaverse cliche. But yeah, it's common. Anyway, before we get started, I just want to remind our viewers that if you like seeing more yaoi content and would like to support this channel, please don't forget to smash that like button. Also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Feel free to message me in my social media at ZEALED FUJOSHI, which I'll be using to interact with viewers about more yaoi content. If that's something that interests you, feel free to follow me at ZEALED FUJOSHI. Finally, this episode will contain explicit content and a lot of manhwa spoilers. With that in mind, please proceed with caution. You have been warned. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the newest addition to this channel, chapter 1 to 4 of Percentage of Love. So, this is basically the whole wrap up of these 4 chapters, okay? And I'm gonna start by saying I don't understand why the plot is always like this for this particular build up. Why do they always have to hide the fact that they had a child with the person that they love? Everyone deserves to know that they have a child, and a child deserves to know that they have a father. I understand that sometimes the father is a horrible person, and if the child is born after the parent was abused, the abuser probably, or the abused probably doesn't want to give any rights to even know that the child exists or something like that. Some people might try to even take the child away once they find out that that child is theirs. And you know, if they don't know anything about them, they end up neglecting the child after. Not everyone deserves to know that they have a child out there, and sometimes it's better for the child not to know what kind of person their father is, especially if they're abusive. But just be honest here and tell this sweet gentleman already. I'm pretty sure that he has his own reasons for hiding it, but honestly, it pains me a lot to see Taeyoon call his own father uncle. And it's so obvious that Taeyoon is nice and seems so responsible. So why are you keeping these secrets from him? I'm just like, girl, why? It's so obvious that Taeyoon is their child. One glance at this child and you can tell, and even the name, you're probably confused while I'm giving this narration. So the seme in this series is called Taeyoon, spelled Taeyoon, okay? And then the uke in this series is called Eunhoo, spelled EUNHO. And bam, they decided to take the first 3 letters of the dad's name and the first 3 letters of the mom's name, and boom, it sounds exactly like the dad's name, which is Taeyoon. But even if it's this silly play on words. We all know that the Uke is gonna continue to hide the fact that the kid is Taeyoon's son. And that just makes him one hell of a selfish person. But that's what makes this series really interesting for me. I'm a big advocate for this series that I think that the dad has every right to know that he has a son. And I think that the mom or the Uke is only making things worse and hurting them both even more by staying quiet about it. I kind of think that the reason why the Uke doesn't want to tell the Seme that things that happened 5 years ago is because he feels bad about it. Because it's very cliche. It's not really rapey, but there were some manipulations going around. No one forced anyone to anything, but there was absolutely manipulation going around 5 years ago. So I think that the Uke feels very bad about this manipulation because we all know that if the Seme finds out that this kid is his son, even the Uke knows that he would take full responsibility for the kid, because this Seme is so nice and kind that he's just the type who doesn't care if that kid is his son or not, because he loves the Uke with all of his heart ever since he was a young guy. So whether he is aware or not that the kid is his kid, he doesn't care because he loves that Omega with all of his heart. But this whole drama is Eunho's fault, and Eunho is the Uke, because he knows that he feels guilty with this whole thing, because he was completely aware that the Seme was in a rut 5 years ago, and he had this whole mentality that just because his dad died, he wanted a piece of the Seme with him when he leaves, because he's not gonna live in that neighborhood anymore. He's not gonna see his family anymore. He's not gonna see Taeyoon anymore. So he decided that since he's already in a rut, he's gonna release his pheromones to induce the rut stronger, and he knows that his chances of getting pregnant is higher. And that's exactly what happened, because the more that he released his pheromones, the chances of Tae-ho or Taeyoon nothing was higher. And then he nodded and he left, and then kept the baby in secret without even telling Taeyoon that he secretly impregnated him. And that's actually the worst part. And I'm not a big fan. This is what I meant by manipulation, because I'm 100% sure that Eunhoo released some pheromones on purpose to make the rat go stronger. And you know, Taeyoon already stated that he took his medicines properly, his inhibitors properly, and even he doesn't understand why he was in a rut that day. And the only explanation is because Eunhoo was part of the equation where he released his pheromones to basically force him to go further in his rut. And that's basically these 4 chapters. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to follow my social media to be teased about some of the boys' love that I'm interested in. Feel free to leave me a message and converse with me in my Discord channel. I'd love to hear back from you. And please consider supporting the show by donating as little as 99 cents through ZEALEDFUJOSHI.xyz. Also, don't forget to support the author. All the manhwa details can be found in the description below. Again, thank you so much and hope to see you next time.